All right, this tutorial over here, we're going to be doing a bridge. Don't worry about the actual dimensions and stuff I choose for this bridge. I'm just going to be picking dimensions that make the bridge the overall size to make it look like it makes sense. The one thing that is very important though is, in my particular example, I'm going to be consistent with the thickness of the members. Because that will allow us to see which members are under the most stress. But the actual shape of them, as long as they're all roughly the same scale, it should be fine. So for this particular one, I'm going to start by doing my sketch button up here in the top right. Let me just check that this is showing up. Yep, cool. The sketch button, which is in the top left, you press this. I'm going to press a plane. I'm going to press this plane over here. So now I'm looking at it in a flat view. I'm going to do the rectangle. So my general approach for this bridge, I'm going to do one half of the bridge first, and then I'll flip that so we can do the other half of the bridge, and then I'll flip that again. So when I mean flip, I mean mirror. I'm going to mirror it first to get both halves of the bridge, and then I'll mirror it again to get the left and right side of the bridge. So I'm going to start by, we know our balsa wood blocks are 5 by 5 millimeters. I'm going to pick a spot. I'm going to assume that my bridge is going to be 5 centimeters wide. So if I'm assuming this crosshair over here in the middle of the page is the middle of my bridge, I'm going to get a line. I'm going to send a line out here. I'm going to do 50 divided by 2, which remember you can plug in simple equations into your Fusion 360 distance line. So 50 divided by 2, press enter, and so now I have this line here. I'm going to use this as like a construction line for my bridge. I'm then going to press the rectangle button. I'm going to press this corner over here, and I want to do a rectangle going out this way. That's going to be my balsa wood. This one's going to be 5. I can writes down 5, and then if I press tab, it goes to the other line where I can press 5 again, and then I press enter. So now I have this square. In Fusion 360, this is a bit difficult for you to see on the projector, but when you look at the video, this over here is like a pale blue color. This pale blue color means that this is a closed shape, which means I can then turn this into another shape later. Let's go, and while I'm here, do I want to make the other shape as well? Yeah, I'll make the other shape as well. Let's go. Let's say I want my particular bridge, I want it to be, again, if it's 5 wide, I want it to be just as high as well. So this time I'm going to go up here to 50. Does that make sense? Okay, I want to go up to here to 50. Press escape. Over here, press that corner. Go 5, tab 5. So over this will be my 2 lengths of the bridge here, and I'll press finish sketch. So now I have these 2 lines over here. So these 2 squares that are from the central axis, they are 25 millimeters, let's say, to the right, and they are from the extremities, they are 50 millimeters from each other. For this sake, I'm going to go press this home button over here to change our view so we can kind of see it in 3D. It's going to help us when we turn this into a 3D shape. Fusion is an additive CAD program. So if we press, we get a flat 2D object, and then we can turn that into a 3D object and manipulate that in 3D. So we're going to go to the create. We're going to go press extrude. For extrude, you need to press a profile. Any profile is any of those solid blue shapes that we are made before. If I press this one over here, we see it goes into a darker blue. It shows an arrow. I can also press this other one. So now they're both there, and I can test it by dragging it out and see, yes, that's the shape I want. What is the span of your bridges? 30 centimeters? All right, we'll just do 30 centimeters. So over here under distance, I can either type distance down in here. 30. We are currently measuring in millimeters, but Fusion's also smart enough that you can write 30 centimeters in here, and it will automatically convert that to millimeters for you. So that is a good feature. But it's not actually 30 millimeters. I made a mistake because I want to do half of my bridge. So I can go down here in the bottom of the history tree, I can either completely undo my work completely, or I can right click this extrusion function and I can press edit feature. And then with the edit feature, I can change it here, 30 over 2 centimeters. Does that work? No, all right, it doesn't like that much maths. Okay. So that'll be 300. Oh, you can do 30 centimeters divided by 2. So now that's half of the bridge that I want to do. Okay. Now let's go, and I'm going to make the zigzag lines. A how truss, I think, is the one I'm going for. I'm going to press sketch. I want to sketch in this particular, I want to sketch in the same plane that these things are on so they can be aligned. These are flat pieces, so I can actually just press them. Or if I couldn't do that, I could go to construct and I could make I could press this plane over here and I can actually offset this plane by 25. So then I can work on this plane as well. Let's go. Let's make here sketchy, and this is where I'm going to go really fast and loose with the dimensions and stuff that's happening. I want to make a. First thing I want to do is I want to reference these particular shapes in my drawing. Now, am I able to do that? No. See how I get my mouse and I try to bring my mouse close to the point? It doesn't actually bond. It's not bonding with the point there, with the line. Right? It's trying to attach to the grid. But I want it to actually attach to those shapes there because I'm going to reference those shapes later in the length. So what I'm going to do, and here is a important feature of Fusion, I need to include those shapes into my drawing. Fusion tries to be smart, where if you start a sketch on a shape, like actually on the shape, it will include that. But we are not, we did it on a plane, so we want to say, well, anything that's we can see, we want to include that in our shape. So we're going to use the project and include. We'll use the project button over here, and what that does is we can click all these buttons, and it's basically saying what I can see from that view. I want to use that geometry to reference my drawing. So now I press OK. Some things have changed. Now we have little purple lines. So you can know purple line means the projection. Now as I bring my mouse across, see how I have that crosshair now? It's changed. So it's actually, that line is now an actual function in our drawing. Why that is relevant is because I want to do this. I want to create a point. I want to create a point over here and then press escape. And then I want to go and do a rectangular pattern. I want to press this point over here and can I select that object? Select that point. I want to pick the direction I want that to go, and I want to go this way. I want it to go, the extent I want is minus 150. And no, I want 3. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's too much. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There, that'll work. All right, so we've got 6. So now I've made there's 6 dots over here by using the rectangular pattern. So when I do my zigzags, this is where my zigzags are going to like begin and end. I press the dot. I press the direction that I wanted to go, and I want to go along this line. Pick the extent I wanted, which is 150. And then I manually picked 6. I'm not going to use all of these dots, but I will do the same thing. So I say dots when I mean points. I'm going to do the same thing down here. It should be faster. Rectangular pattern. Select the point. Select the line. And then we'll go 6. and then we'll go 150. Okay, so now I've got these. Phew. Okay, I don't know why it went twice. Oh, I think it may have copied the line. Not a problem. We can just ignore that part. So now I want to go here with my line. I want to start making my... And again, this is very just quickly, these lines I'm doing here. These are going to be the zigzag lines of my truss. So these are where my diagonal members are going to be. Now I want to give them a thickness. I'm going to use the offset tool. If I press the offset tool, I press this shape over here. I'm going to make this offset. Now, this is where this dimension is relevant. If you draw a line, you got to remember you got trigonometry. If I measured 2.5 centimeters from left and right in the the Z plane, according to like our drawing up here, that's not going to make the member 5 millimeters thick. So by using the offset tool, it's making it like parallel 5 centimeters thick, which is what we want. Offset position, 2.5. Press enter. And then I'm going to do this offset as well, 2.5. But I'll flip the direction. And so that's going to be the thickness. Those are going to be the thickness of the members that I want. I am going to... So I could just manually do this, 2.5. But remember, this is a speed run today. Minus 2.5. Yep. Okay. So because this is a speed run, I'm going to try to do this. Can I do this? What distance does that have to be offset? That distance, inspect. Oh, 60, easy, okay. I'm going to try to do this faster, so I'm going to actually finish the sketch at this point. I'm going to extrude these shapes here that I made. Everything's fine. It should be able to do these two. Thickness they're going to be is 5. Now, when you probably remember this, as you extrude an object, if it's touching another object, it's going to try to combine them together. So right now we can see it's not touching, right? It's going in that direction. We can flip that direction by doing the arrow in the other direction, I believe. Okay, so we're just going to be -5, -5. And so over here, it naturally does a join. I don't want to join for this case. I just want to do a new body because I'm going to copy these and then later I'll join them together. So I've got this shape over here. We can do our same thing. We can do a pattern just like we did with our sketch. We can do a pattern over here, rectangular pattern. The bodies we want to copy this body and this body. The direction we want them to go through is this one over here. This time I don't want to use extent. I want to use spacing. And I want them to be spaced 60 millimeters apart. And press OK. So that's the start of my how truss. And then I can start to mirror this by pressing the mirror function. I think I can just press everything. And then mirror plane over here. In this case, I don't care if they're joined together because it's going to be the end of my bridge. Join. All right, we got a mirror warning, but that shouldn't matter. And now these are all individual bodies. For the sake of my drawing, I'm going to actually combine them all together. So I go to modify, combine. The target body can be this part, and the tool bodies can be everything else. I have to manually select them. 1, 2, 3. Select all the other bodies and press OK. So now, were those not touching? These are, okay, that shouldn't matter. These are the two that were like hanging over the other side when they got mirrored. So I don't think we need to worry about these two. We can probably delete these two bodies. Right click and delete. Yep. Oh, no, we cannot delete them. Let's just combine them in then. combine this body with these two. Okay, we have one body here. Now we have to make the other side, and we have to make, so we're going to do this, let's just do this by eye. We will go over here. We've got to do our project and include. Project this shape, yes. Let's just make these squares. We've got one square over here. This should be 5 by 5. Oh, 5 by 5. And then this one over here. I could probably measure this more accurately, but I'm just going to guess it. Ooh. Five by 5, done. We will go and extrude these shapes out that we just made. Uh, 25. And we will again make them a new body, so there's no issue there. New body, okay. And then we're going to copy these as well, like we did with the previous ones. Pattern, rectangular pattern, this body and that body. The axis we want is this axis over here. The spacing, what's the spacing we want? The spacing we want is 60. And the quantity we want is, we'll just go through the page and we can delete the ones we don't want later. Ooh. Do we need slightly less than that, maybe? What do you reckon? It's 55 instead. Yeah, it is. It's... Alright, it's not going to work. These things are not aligned. Okay. With this sketch, we'll just make more of the squares. Must be these over here are not really aligned. Alright, we'll do half the bridge. We'll go this one, that one. $25, and we will just join these together, okay? And then we'll do the same mirror trick over here. We'll get this body. The mirror plane will reflect it, should be symmetric. Okay. We have both halves of the bridge now, and then we will also mirror this part over here. Mirror this whole body. In this plane over here. And then we have that part of the bridge. And then now in the last 30 seconds, to finish it off, we can get rid of these two parts over here. We can do something like this. We can say split body. We want to split this body with this splitting tool. We can split by this tool over here. And if we press OK, it should cut these two corner pieces off. So then we can then hide this, and we can hide this particular part there. And we can do the same thing over here. We can split this body by these tools over here. Ooh. Ooh, almost done. And there you go. That's the basis of a fast way to get your bridge done. You'll change it to your particular shapes. The next lesson we're going to go and we're going to get this bridge ready to start doing simulations on. Let me pause this.